Buenos dias, amigos, amigas from the lakeside area. Now, we'll talk about culture here and the kind of people you're going to meet here in the lakeside area. Now, I've been living in the lakeside area for 4 years, a little more than 4 years, going up and back to the States, to my home. But I want to tell you a little bit about the kind of people you're going to meet here. Of course, the Mexican residents are great. They are great people. You're going to meet them. You'll be able to socialize with them. But you're going to meet people from many parts of the world here, different cultures. They can speak other languages, and also some of them are fluent in Spanish. But you'll meet people from, let me give you some examples. Let me go back. When I first came here, I met a Russian, or a couple years after I was here, I met some Russian people. And then once again, I lived in a gated community that had a Russian gentleman there. Also, you're going to meet people from Germany. I know people from Germany. I know a lady from France. I know, wow, so many. And they also have come from other countries, but they also were living in big cities in the USA. Now, a lot of these people do speak Spanish fluently and speak other languages fluently. They're just fun to spend time with. A lady from Switzerland. I met a lady from Switzerland, lady from the Southwest U.S. You're going to meet French people. Actually, the first French person I met was in San Miguel de Allende. That was years ago. He was a photographer. But you're going to come here. You're going to meet people. Oh, man, I should have made a list. I should have made a list. But so many different types of ethnicities and parts of the world, and including big cities. Now, I'm going to tell you about big cities. Of course, so we all know, we're all aware that big cities can be melting pots, and there's so many different ethnicities, culture, etc. And there's so many. You're going to have places like, of course, Chicago. And I'm just going to name a few. You'll have Detroit. You're going to have Boston. You're going to have New York. You're going to have different places, big cities, where in other even smaller cities or towns that are going to have, they're going to be a little bit melting. There's going to be melting pots, or small melting pots, or going to be bigger melting pots. And they're going to have some exposure to maybe different cultures. But I want to say, okay, let me get to this. I'm doing pretty good. It's not too long. I met in Jocotepec. Let's talk Jocotepec for now. This lakeside area encompasses many towns. Did a video on that already, naming the towns and places I've been. But I want to say I met in Ajijic a few years ago. Russian lady, Russian-born daughter. She was born in Russia. Also met most recently in Jocotepec. Now, I do know a lady who's French in Ajijic. People know, and I introduce people to the people I talk about. There's a lady from France. She's a really nice, she speaks 3 languages. Lady from Toronto. Some of you are my friends know, we socialize with, speaks 3 languages. Of course, a lot of Mexican residents. Of course, you're going to make friends. I always say they're great too. You're going to socialize with them. And some of them speak 1, 2, or 3 languages fluently, or very good. You're going to meet people from, Eastern Europe. Quite a few then. Ireland, England. You're going to meet people. All these people right here in these towns that encompass the lakeside area. So you're going to really meet a lot of good people, nice people. Let me talk a little bit about Jocotepec. I've met so many people in all these lakeside towns. But I want to talk about a recent meeting or people I met, a couple expats that are living long time now, many years in Jocotepec. I was in one of my favorite restaurants. I got a couple or a few I like to go to there. Two ladies, they were friends. Now, they don't live together. They live separately. One lady is from Europe, and I'm not going to say the name, but she's been living in Hakotepec for 35 years, and she is from Europe. Her friend that was, and I had lunch with these ladies, they're very nice ladies. She's 85, 35 years in Hakotepec, one lady. The other lady's from the Southwest, U.S. She's been living in Hakotepec 25 years, and amazing. Now, this was not a day I was shooting YouTube videos because I go to all towns that encompass the lakeside area, even when not making YouTube videos. But I wanted to say I really get to meet a lot of people. I don't have an outline or a person bouncing things off with me here to bounce things off and get ideas, but or remember things. But I will say that you're going to find a lot of different ethnicities here. You'll find Polish, you'll find Slavic, of course, Polish and Russian, once again, Irish, people from Ireland. Many people I've met from Ireland and England, wow, the UK, different parts of the world, and some I've even met from some Asian countries here. There are some people from Asian countries as well. Other countries too. So you're going to meet people here, and you're going to have a great time. I'm going to tell you a little bit. This is the end of the video. My road to Spanish when I will tell you, I was introduced to the Spanish culture myself, and I have talked about that in the other videos. Music, Spanish music, and art, Latin American art and music. And this was a good fit for me. And it's going to be a good fit for you, whether you were practicing or learning Spanish before you ever came here. It doesn't matter where you're from. If you're from some melting pot, this could be a good fit for you. I did give you some information how I did my road to Spanish, and I did well in college with a semester, but forgot it all. And but I was always interested in art, culture, music. So when I came to Mexico, I did take I forgot everything I learned. I did very well in one semester intro Spanish, but I had to come here and start learning Spanish over again. And once again, I'll mention it today. I feel very comfortable if I wanted to live in towns like Hakotepec, where little English is spoken, but and the other side of Lake Chapala, south side of Lake Chapala, and even other places in other parts of Mexico where little English is being spoken. And we were having a conversation about that yesterday. A couple of my friends, one from Canada and one from the U.S. And, you know, I really, it's opened up a lot of doors, learning Spanish. 5.5 years in Mexico, going back to my home frequently, and have actually took 4 sessions in Spanish and do some Duolingo and practice, communicate with the residents. Not always in the videos, but the Mexican residents, but I do before or after the videos we communicate. And I got to a certain level. So, and there's people here that are very fluent, and they might come from Eastern Europe, be fluent. And I'll give you a little example. My father is from Eastern Europe. I show people the obituary, his obituary. My father was an extraordinary man. He could read, write, and speak 6 languages. Of course, he was raised in Europe, and that's the way it goes. But there was a Mexican man, or a man from Mexico or Spain, that I was reading about just the other day. It wasn't the social media platform, but I did read something. There was a man years ago, he passed years ago, 10 languages. He could read, write, and speak. He was fluent in 10 languages. So, that's an amazing man. And he wound up in Mexico and in the United States at some point. So, amazing. There's a lot of people that are multicultural. So if you're from a melting pot town, or city rather, like say Detroit has been for many, many years, Chicago, New York, Boston, and I'll tell you, I am no stranger to Mexican music and art or Latin American music and art. As I said in previous videos, I was raised and brought up listening to Mexican and Latin American music and was exposed to art at the Detroit Institute of Arts. Grew up as a child and the music and even some of the language before coming to Mexico. So really happy to be here. It doesn't matter where you come from, what kind of cultures you were exposed to, or parts of the Europe or the world, Canada, too. You can come down here. You're going to meet expats. You're going to have a great time. Now, I'm going to tell you something else about these two ladies. And I met more people in Jocotepec who are living there. And these two ladies, and once again, I don't have an outline. I have someone to bounce this off and remind me of things. But these two ladies gave me some information because once again, being that I've been coming back and forth to Mexico for 5.5 years and been in this lakeside area for 4 years, I think about going and branching out, maybe going to a place where, like Jocotepec, where little English is spoken, not as much like these Chapala. That's easy. If you want to come down Chapala, Ajijic, and some of these other towns, that's easy. But I really know today, with my experience, I can actually live live in towns like Jocotepec, across the lake. And I mentioned this before. There's towns like San Cristobal, San Luis Oyatlan, Tuxcueca, and these are just examples of places I made videos. And Mazamila. I feel comfortable I can live on the south side of Lake Chapala, as well as other parts of Mexico where little English is spoken. So I'm really happy, and I'm grateful to the people that helped me along with this. So thanks for viewing. This has turned into quite a long video, but I hope you got something out of it, and hope you appreciate it. So with that, tap that notification bell. You'll be notified about upcoming videos. Thanks for viewing. Adios, amigos, from the lakeside area.